to describe as a person, you would go person. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, she's got like a good 65% of this right. I got to make sure that the other percent is not, not that it's wrong, but that it's different from what I've seen.
Current. So, yes. Okay. That's awesome. Thank you.
Jillian, I wanted to ask a question. And then Jennifer said that she was going to be late to class and probably joining around 6. And I was like, that's fine. I'm betting that some of our other people have already gone on vacation, like with the, with the long weekend and stuff. But that's okay. Okay, I have a question. When you were at Montevallo and you were learning ASL and learning to teach, did you have to get a double major? Like, were you learning? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, I know exactly what you're saying. So technically, because this is always how I kind of perceived it as, on paper, legally, it does not say I have a double major. But I had the workload of a double major, because that was always how I explained it. I am taking, and the way it is at Montevallo is, when you get into the education world, especially special education, it gets complex, because even though I was deaf education, I'm still technically allowed to actually teach special education. I could, if I didn't work at the Alabama School for the Deaf and I decided I wanted to work with more of a broad variety of students, I can get a job as a special education teacher.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then I also can teach ASL to students. So like I could teach an ASL class. So, but what's always so interesting to me is I technically can't teach hearing children, like general education. I couldn't teach that.
Okay.
I have the degree in special education, and I guess technically I have the abilities of being a ASL teacher, but I do not have that general education degree.
Yeah.
So I always explain it as I basically have a double major combined into one. So it's all the workload, but not the pretty name title. So
because when you said you started and you had the kids who were kind of lagging behind, I thought, oh my gosh, like that would have been really hard.
It was, I won't lie, it was a challenge, because I mean, first off, it was an age challenge, because I'm so used to working with younger kids. I mean, I work at the summer camp. I work with kindergarten, and these kids were 5th and 6th grade. And I worked with 5th and 6th grade during my internship. Loved it. But even my teacher I worked with will tell me, she's like, yeah, no, I have a good class. And I'm like, yeah, I noticed. And I see her next door, because she's my teacher next door. And I look at her, I'm like, yeah, your class last year spoiled me, because now I'm sitting here with this class that is just a challenging group. And I'm like, oh, so, but it was that whole thing. And then having to look at because they are very farther behind than their other peers, and having to try to help them catch up. And with COVID, it was, that was a crazy year. I'm very excited now that I'm like, I know my kids. I know what grade I'm teaching next year. I know where I'm going with it. All right. We're a little smoother than we were last year. So, but yeah, that's the hardest thing about my major, I think, was that when I was in college, it was like a double major. And one of the things that was so frustrating, and this is where not being informed kind of came in, was that a lot of problems I had, and I love Montevallo. Don't get me wrong, I will toot that place's horn all the days. Be like, Montevallo is great, beautiful campus, love the professors, love everything about it. But one of the things that was a challenge, and it's being worked on now, was that it was kind of set how it was in the old ways, where I had to take half of these general education classes, half of these special education classes, and then ASL classes. Oof. Makes sense. But what was becoming to be a problem is my general education class, one of them was teaching of reading. Mainly the class was talking about how you help practice with fluency, and you help with them comprehending and reading stories out loud. And I remember sitting there in class, and I just looked at my professor, and he would make eye contact, and he goes, I'm guessing you wouldn't do any of this, so don't know what you'd be doing, because they never were really informed of it. And so there were a few classes that it'd just be like, oh, you guys don't know, that's not what we would do. We wouldn't have any connection, maybe some fluency if the child is hard of hearing, but that's not the main. And that I could pick up on. And so it was always a big challenge on that, but still loved it.
I think you should be proud of yourself. It's pretty impressive. Yeah. So
I always jokingly say I'm pretty proud that I actually held through of learning a second language, because I am really notorious for starting things and never finishing things. Like, I started Spanish in like elementary school, middle school, never finished. Started French, like end of middle school, started high school, never finished, like never continued on with it, never really tried. And I mean, anything else I did besides like soccer and Girl Scouts, I just never like went through with it. And then I'm like, well, now apparently I did. And I didn't even realize I did until someone said, you really stuck with that, didn't you? Because I remember being in high school, I was like, I did. I stuck through it. And I have it. It's like in my degree now. And so, but yeah,
good job.
it's crazy to me. But I know we went off on a huge tangent, and since it is just Miss Catherine and us, yes, I won't lie. When the groups get really small like this, I do chat a lot more, and I will still provide the signs, of course, but we do have a lot more conversations, and I love having conversations. I can't even hide it. Even my coworkers know it, and I mean, I have conversations just talking. A lot of them, I think they know. Okay, if I'm going into Gillian's classroom, we're gonna have like 3 conversations about 3 different things. So I better make sure I have nothing I have to do right now, so that if I do have this conversation, we can keep going. So, but what I have planned for tonight's class was some food related stuff. So we're going to talk about different kinds of foods. And if we have time, I might do like events, and how you assign events. Because I swapped it from last class. Last class I went through events first, but I think food's a better one to go through. So, and Miss Catherine, since you're the only student, you're the star student, you get to ask any kinds of sign you want. So if I don't say any type of food that you're like, I wonder if there's a sign, you can literally be like, hey, give me all these signs. So
Excellent.
first one I had was food. So the sign for food is food. So food. Well, food really. And then the sign for like eat is like, I always flip them. I need you to, so eat is tapping. Food,
Okay.
eat. And it's that action of like, when you're eating, you don't just go, that's it, you eat. So food, eat. And if I'm wrong, sometimes I do get them flipped. I will double check, of course, and let you guys know if I do make a mistake, but usually that's pretty right. Then we have hungry. So hungry is going to be, you're having like almost an open C. So it's not as like big, it's a relaxed C. And you're going to go hungry. Hungry.
I remember this one.
Well, I'm about to say it again, Miss Katie. So I like to warn everybody about this sign, because this sign, and this happens a lot with ASL, is you have to be very careful, because if you do something slightly different, it makes a whole different meaning. So this is hungry. You do it once to say you're hungry. If you do it multiple times, you are saying you are horny. And I apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to say it because I don't want you guys to go up going, I'm hungry, because my college professor told me that she did that one time to her ASL teacher, and he had to pull her aside and say, you're not saying hungry, you're saying something different. And she was so embarrassed. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
save you from the embarrassment. So hungry.
Hungry. Thank you.
Yes. And then thirsty. So thirsty is again, just one. Thirsty. So just one time down. And a lot of times to really like, if you're really trying to show like, I am hungry, you almost, I always go through like hungry. Oh, and then like I grab my stomach, you turn into like you're acting like how you normally do. So instead of adding more to the sign, you doing the sign repeatedly. It's more just showing. All right. So then we have, I don't know if I showed y'all water. I might have skipped the basics, and I apologize, like the very few basics of like bathroom and water, but water is going to be a W, and you're going to have your point. I'm so sorry. I'm about to sneeze. I can feel it.
Bless you.
It didn't come, but that's okay. It does that sometimes. So you'll have oh my goodness. I am so sorry. It keeps fading back and forth, and my nose is just like, I think I messed it up. I swam into the ladder on accident, like really hard, and like kind of low key bruised my nose. So I think my
Oh, Gillian.
yeah, I did it yesterday. It was really bad. So that could be what's messing me up. All right. Anyway, so water is, you're going to have a W. Your pointer finger is going to be on the corner of your lip, and you're going to go water. You just tap it. Water. And that's actually like the sign for like, I need water, like to drink. if you're describing like you saw some water on the floor, like I saw water on the floor. So you would use this as like basically a universal sign of water, like any types of water. Excuse me. And then we have milk. So milk is going to be milk. Milk. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. See, some of them make so much sense. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have guessed that. And
Yeah.
like, then you have some that you're like, why? But
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like start did not like
start.
I don't-
Yeah. I always think about, I don't know why, but I think about a car, like in a car
Yeah.
ignition, start.
yeah.
Like you're starting it. Don't know why that's what makes like, because I always think, well, I'm saying I'm starting the lesson, and I'm like, that you're not starting a car. Like I can understand starting a car, starting a lesson throws me off. So, but anyway, so we have soda. So soda is you're gonna have your non-dominant hands in a fist. You want to have enough little space because you are gonna have your middle finger like in it, like this, and you're gonna go soda. So you have all your other fingers like on top. It looks a little weird, like that. Yeah. And then you're gonna pull it up and then slam back down. Soda, soda, soda. And I think it's that motion of like your soda.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that does look like that's a weird sign.
Yes, it is. Yes,
I'm
it is.
not
I always
liking
try to
that
go
one.
very fast. I'm always like soda,
Yeah.
soda, drink, and then I'll be like that. So there's a few signs that I'm like, I now know there's another meaning. Like I could see another meaning. I don't want to use it. I avoid it at all costs. So juice, usually whenever I see juices, I always do just like the J. So like orange juice.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Orange juice. And like, I guess, so for like apple. So apple is like it's like there you go. Apple juice. Apple juice. Then I had ice cream. So ice cream, super easy. Ice cream. It's like you're licking your cone. Ice cream. And then I had, my eye. I don't know what is going on right now, but everything is just all out. So the next one is pizza. Pizza has a couple of different sides. And I finally felt validated one day. My favorite one to use for pizza is you have two fingers that your V turns into like two X's, and you do this. You make a Z. Pizza. And I love it because it's like a double Z. And I think that's like one of my favorite ones. But every time I would show it, my students would look at me and go, what's that? And I'm like, pizza, you know? So then I'd use another sign. They're like, oh, no, it's pizza. And I'd be so upset. But I saw another.
Oh, like this.
Yeah, they'll do pizza. And I mean, that one makes sense. It's just like you're holding a sliced pizza. But I always liked this one. I've loved this one. And I saw another student, not mine, but another student do it. And I was like, yes, I was right. That is a sign. Pizza. I'm staying with it. So that was a fun debate with my kids because they're like, no, pizza. And I'm like,
so it's like a double Z, or it's like scooping the pizza in your mouth. Yeah. Okay.
Is your thumb up when you do the second one?
Kind of, yes. I mean, it can go kind of down. My thumbs stick out. I won't lie. My pinkies stick out when I'm drinking. So I think my thumbs sometimes just stick out. And that's not one that I'm like, is a big, don't have it. So.
Okay. Yeah.
Either way. Then we have salad. I did try to add I remember I did try to add healthiness in here because all I kept thinking were like fast food, yummy stuff. And I was like, no, we need healthy stuff.
Healthy.
Like, so salad is like this.
Oh, yeah.
Salad. You have like your open hands. Salad.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think about when you're tossing the salad.
Tossing the salad. Yeah.
And then we have vegetable. So vegetable is vegetable. It's your pointer finger and you just shake vegetable.
Okay.
And then fruit is going to be the same thing, but with an F. So fruit. And this is also the sign for ketchup. So.
Fruit.
Okay.
And ketchup.
Yes.
Like, are your hands bent to say ketchup, or it's the exact same sign?
It's the exact same sign.
Which, for a lot of little kids, ketchup is your vegetable.
It's a fruit. That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the thing I always love is, I remember when I first learned, I was like, I mean, I get it because, like tomato, fruit, that. But I was like, but why? And then I started watching. I was like, oh, context. Like, your kids aren't going to have chicken nuggets and go, I need ketchup for my chicken. Or need fruit for my chicken.
I know, you were right. Yeah.
And then you're like,
Mhm.
oh, that makes sense.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of people will tell me is when you see these signs, you're like, read them in
Like you
context.
don't put fruit on your hot dog.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, I have a hot dog. I need ketchup. I need fruit. I keep wanting to say ketchup because that's what you say is ketchup. But I'm like, no.
Yeah.
So now we're on to actual fruits. And then I'll go back for some vegetables. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. A lot of times for vegetables, I do just finger spell, but I can always double check for signs. So we have orange.
Mm-hmm.
And the good thing with orange is this is also the sign for the color orange. So I like that they have the same because that would stress me out if they were two different things. Won't lie.
Mhm.
So then we have strawberry. So strawberry is going to have your nail of your thumb is going to rest on your chin. Strawberry.
Strawberry.
And then we have peach. So peach is you're going to go peach. And it's like
Aw.
a peach
Oh,
box.
Peach.
That's
I
cute.
love this one. One of the students whose name is like Peaches, this is her like name sign, and I absolutely live for it. I know she's probably so over it, but I think it might be her nickname, but I'm like, I live for this. I live for that. And then we have banana. So banana is a very easy one. Your non-dominant hand's pointer.
Hmm.
Your dominant hand is peeling the pieces off. Banana.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had apple. So apple is again that hook, and you're gonna just apple. Apple.
I kind of think of apple of your eye, but it's on
Yes.
the tree.
Oh, I would have never thought of that.
Oh.
Oh.
I
I
didn't
like
either. Okay.
Now
That
I'm
totally
just gonna
makes
think about
sense.
that. Every time I'm gonna do apple, I'm gonna be like apple of your eye, and I'll just like start giggling to myself because like I already do that. So we have sandwich. So sandwich is gonna be your both hands are kind of in that open B, so not like this, but open, and you're gonna go sandwich. It's like almost like how you wrap it.
Does
And
it matter
like-
if you're dominant or non-dominant, like, or is it just sandwich? Okay.
Either way, sandwich. So sandwich. And then we have burger. So burger is going to be like this. And it's like you're making the meat patties.
Burger.
Burger. Then we have cheese. So cheese. I always try to be careful with this one because this is movie cheese. Cheese. I always think about that. It's like your
Cheese
other,
is like more, you're like,
yeah, and I always think of
Okay.
movie as like you're waving, like movie, going to the movies, and then you have cheese. But I mean, it's the same with butter and soap. Soap's
oh
like
my gosh,
this,
that's
butter's like
terrible.
this. Like butter, like I think this is soap, and then that's butter. I always get them flipped because they're so similar. So like, soap is like all your hands, butter's like your two with your thumb sticking out.
Soap and butter.
Yes,
Goodness.
Wow. Ooh.
yeah, very similar. And if you're not being careful, you can lose very fast. What you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Then I have meat. So any type of meat, your non-dominant hand is going to be out like this. Dominant hand is going to use your pointer finger and your thumb, and you're going to hold it. It's like a meat hook, basically. So meat.
Okay.
And this is also the sign for like the content of like information, like what the meat of the story.
Mhm.
And I
That
love
makes
that. When I figured that out, I was like, oh, that is so cool. Because I was like, why would you also use this for content? And then someone used that sentence. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So
Mhm.
But you're not like doing more, you're just literally holding.
and you
Right.
do shake it kind of some like meat.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a little shake. It's hard to tell. And like I never have the most stable stand for my laptop. So I do shake when I laugh, which I've noticed I have to be very careful with. So meat. Yeah. And then I'm sorry, my dogs, I see another dog outside and they're barking once again. Then I had cake. So I've always done cake. Some people do this for cookie. I'll be like cake, and then I usually finger spell it to be clear. Because I can see this as cupcake, cake, any kind of sweet thing like that.
Mhm.
And I see a lot of people for cookie they'll like almost make a little C and go cookie.
Oh.
Cookie. So cake, cookie. And if you're not feeling sure on like the clarity, you can always just finger spell cake. And
Mhm.
4 letters is very easy. Then we have pie. Pie is very easy because yeah, exactly. You could just
Sorry.
all the skills.
I'm
Finger
yeah.
spell.
Wait,
No,
did
no,
you
no,
do it?
Yeah, she finger spelled pie. Go
Oh.
for it. If you want to just finger spell as I'm talking, you're not going to
Mhm.
distract me. That's how I practice. Like,
Yeah.
I do that all the time. I sit out in like places and I just finger spell words. people probably think I'm crazy, but that's just my way of, that was how I learned how to
Right.
and how to do smoothly, was just
Telling myself I cannot sit still, and I have issues with ADD, like actually issues. And it's agonizing sometimes. This is awful to sit in church. Because I have a hard time sitting and listening and not moving. I have been spelling, like I've been doing ASL with like my hand, I'm not like up here.
Yeah.
But it makes it so much easier for me to sit and listen because I have something else to do. Oh my gosh.
Trust me, you're talking to someone who literally does like the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there waiting. Like if I'm in like the waiting room for something, or if I'm waiting and I just am sitting there, I just start to finger spell. I do it a lot. I did it a lot when I was in high school trying to practice, and especially when I was like realizing I was going to be taking my ASL classes in college, because I ended up taking my freshman year. I didn't get any ASL classes because they wanted to wait till you're later and closer to your internship, so that way it was still fresh in your mind. So that for that entire year, I just had to hold myself going like, okay, you know these signs, you know this. Okay, let's practice our finger spelling again. And so for that whole year, anywhere I went, I just sat there and I look at a word. And if I was in the car, I would look at like signs and be like, okay, like Alexander.
Yep.
And like I practice and it finally was like, I can do this now. Like I have emotion. So yes, finger spelling's always welcome. Just so if you have to finger spell to keep yourself focused, go for
it. Yeah, it's good practice. So I'll try this. So let's see. So I drive for work. And
okay.
Is that right? Is that
yes,
right?
That is right. Yes.
Okay. So let's see. I drive for work. So I practice signing when I'm driving.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I'll just do my ABCs as I'm driving down the road, you know?
Oh, trust me. I do that too. I'm so bad. And in high school, I had to learn a few songs in ASL. Like that was like our projects we would take a song, we would translate into ASL, and then we would practice signing it. And so whenever there's a few songs that would just come on the radio that I like had practice, I would start signing while I'm driving, and I'd be like this, and my mom would be like, what are you doing? Please put your hands back on the wheels. Like, stop, you're scaring me. And I'm like, I can't, like, it's so bad. And if I know, like,
I can drive with one hand and then I have the other one free.
Exactly. And I always have, it's like the opposite when my mom's just like, please stop. I'm like, I know, I will. Oh no, I can't. I have to do this part real quick. Yeah. And like, I look so silly. I bet so many people are just like, what is that girl doing next to me? Like, probably crazy.
All good. It's all good.
Oh, I'm so glad to know I'm not the only one. But so the other food I had was pie. Pie is going to be your non-dominant hand is palm up, and you're going to go pie. It's like you're cutting a slice of pie. So like I always make it to where it's like a triangular form. So pie. And then I think that's all I had for like kind of some basic food. Is there anything like you drink, eat that like you would probably be more likely to need to sign for?
I have two that we get asked regularly that like I try to think, what would somebody come in here and want to talk about? Coffee and snacks.
I immediately knew you were going to say snacks. I was like, oh, I haven't chosen the sign for snacks. So coffee. So coffee is easy. You're going to have your non-dominant hand in a fist, your dominant hand in another fist. Coffee.
Coffee. Okay.
Yeah.
Like grinding coffee.
Exactly. Grinding coffee.
Okay.
Then we have snacks. So snacks is going to be 2 fingers touching your thumb, and you're going to go snacks.
Snacks. Okay.
You don't want to be close, like far out, because then that's the sign for 12. You want it next to your mouth.
Snack. Okay.
Yeah, that was one I had to learn in school because my kids would go, do we have snacks? Have snacks? And I'm like, have what? What? Like, and then someone was like, snacks. And I was like, oh, no, I don't have. Sorry. And they're like, they'd be asking me, do you have snacks? You have snacks? Have snacks for me? And I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying. Like, what's this word? And they'd just be like,
wait, so mad at me. How did you just say, I don't know what you're saying?
So I just go at you. I'm like, I don't know. And I'll repeat the word. Yeah. Sometimes, sorry, I sometimes will sign how I speak, but I don't actually like sign that way. So like I was saying, like, I don't know what you're saying.
Gotcha.
So like, I don't know what you said.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
You were
Sorry,
going
that's
fast. And so I was like, wait, what just happened?
sorry, I do that. Like,
But
it's
like you
so-
can tell that you're
Right.
you're fluent in it because, you know, sometimes I'll listen to things that my family and I say to each other. And I think if someone who did not have English as a first language was listening to us, they would be like, what are they saying? You know, like you talk fast, you talk in idioms and
You should see me when I'm
slang and,
like fired up. Oh, my family have seen me when I come home really angry and I'm just aggressively signing in anger at them. And they're just like, they just slowly like back up. They're like, I can't watch this right now because not only are you like angrily talking, you're angrily moving your hands and it's so much. But like, trust me. And once I get on it, like where if I could be like 10 minutes talking to someone in just ASL. For the next 5 hours afterwards, I'll be syncoming, this is the sign for syncom, which is an S and a C, and it's simultaneous communication. And this is like for when I'm voicing, but I'm also signing at the same time. It's really hard to do, and it's not always clear. Like I'm doing it now to show as an example, because either one of this, like the languages, is going to like kind of like go down. And mine actually kind of teeters. It goes back and forth. Sometimes my English is kind of will be fine and my ASL goes down. And I've caught moments where I say something's really silly in English and that doesn't make sense, but it's actually makes sense in ASL. So it's very hard to syncom, but I do it because I am a person who can't stop talking or signing. So, but yes, so we have coffee and then we have snack. Just want to go back over those again because I know those are big ones. Are there any other foods you guys are curious of? I mean, anything.
Remind me, I don't think we did. How would you say, like, are there signs for breakfast, lunch, dinner? You know, like if somebody.
Yes. So a lot of times I've probably the most likely ones I would say that you would probably see for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner is so for breakfast is you're going to have to be breakfast.
Like, wait.
So you're going to have like your palms facing towards you, breakfast, like that.
Breakfast. Okay.
Yeah. I was always taught like you are not supposed to sign that because it's supposed to be morning food. But I see a lot of people who are born and raised staff, you know, they have learned ASL all their life. That's their main form of communication and they go breakfast. So that's why I said you probably would see this more than anything. So breakfast. Okay. Lunch, super easy. It's an L. Your thumb touches your chin. Lunch.
Okay.
I always think you're almost saying loser to your chin. That's what I think. But lunch. Okay. That was a very common one. Is the kids always asking lunch? Where? When? Where? Now I'm like, no. So lunch, and then for dinner. Ooh, I haven't had to use the sign for dinner in a while. You can always go like afternoon, like you don't want to go like afternoon, like early, because that would be like saying lunch, like 12, but like afternoon, night, food.
Gotcha.
Dinner. Okay. But I'm trying to remember because like I've never had to actually use the sign for dinner often. It's just always lunch. That was the main one. So I can always double check that. If all else fails, you can always just be like I always, if I see someone who signs a word I don't know, as I repeat it to them, I'll be like, is what? Yeah. And I'll be like, I'll point to it. I always added like an extra hand to be like.
So I guess what I was thinking is, you know, when people come in and they ask for like, where can I get dinner or where can I get something to eat? Sometimes I'll have to say they're not open until dinner or, you know, but I could always say like later.
Like you could say open like later.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Later.
Yeah.
And a lot of times if you say they're like open at time 11, that they'll pick up on. So
gotcha. Okay.
It's a lot of, you want to think on how there's many different ways you can say it. There's also many different ways you can sign it. And I always say, pick the one that makes sense to you, that's easiest for you to remember, but also makes sense to everybody else. So that was always my word of thumb. And that's what I was taught. So any other signs you guys have food related wise?
Here's an interesting one. Yellow rice.
Okay. So I would go yellow, the sign for yellow, which is a Y.
Right.
And then I believe actually for rice, I've always just seen you finger spell it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah. So rice. There probably is a sign somewhere, but a lot of times I would almost want to say there's a sign for every word. It comes down to who actually uses those signs. So a lot of times I do see finger spell to rice because it's so short.
Right. My daughter's favorite food. That's why I asked.
Oh,
I was gonna say, I bet that if you were in a community in Louisiana where they were having rice and beans, you would have a sign that
Exactly.
Yeah, I bet there's a
everybody
big old sign
knew.
there that's like they know because like there's that's the cool thing about ASLs. There's like regional stuff like that is
Yeah.
a big deal.
I would
We have
imagine
signs
so.
for that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying.
That's
I
cool.
was trying to remember the Alabama ones because I've learned a few, but it's when you have to think about them that you forget them all.
Yeah.
At least I've noticed. And you reminded me of another sign I was gonna say. Oh, chicken.
Oh yes, that's important.
Yes. So chicken is chicken. Chicken.
Is
Like a
this
beef?
live chicken, pet chicken, and eating chicken?
Yes, I think I remember this because you were like, I remember
Okay.
Miss Katie was like, oh, so chicken, like, and this is also the sign for like bird. So it is much context related. If you are talking about, most of the time when you're saying, oh, for dinner, I'm having chicken, most of the time people think chicken. If you're
Do you
trying to
finger
describe-
spell fried?
I always do. I'll be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, okay.
fried chicken. So, but, that's like if you were gonna say like I'm having pheasant. I don't know. I'm not good at I'm having to think of words. I would be like that would be one I'd be like, the bird pheasant, like finger spelling it
Or
into
turkey? Is there a sign for turkey?
turkey is turkey, I believe.
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah.
Then do you want a turkey? What was sandwich?
sandwich.
Yeah. So would you go turkey sandwich? Wait, like this?
So
Right.
I always have mine slightly cupped, like I'm holding a sandwich.
Okay.
Like I tap them a little sandwich, like I'm holding something. It's all combined together and holding it.
Turkey is hysterical.
Oh,
That is
I
so
know.
funny.
I
Okay.
know. I love it. Let's see. What else do we have? Other food wise. Let's see. There's so many different types of foods, obviously. I just forget about. Spaghetti. Okay, there's one. So spaghetti and any type of pasta. It's really fun. I love this one. Is you have both your pinkies out. You're gonna have them sideways and you're gonna go spaghetti.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I like that.
I love this one. Like I remember my friends and I used to just sign this to each other, spaghetti,
Yeah.
because we thought it was like the most fun one. So spaghetti. That's like any type of pasta. You'd be like spaghetti, like and then pasta. A lot of times too, for me, I've always personally been like, I always add clarification if I have to, because I'm not always sure if I'm using the sign exactly how it is. You never know. And if they actually know what I'm saying. So
Is there how kids eat macaroni and cheese? Is that also pasta, or is there a separate sign for that?
So I've actually never seen a sign for mac and cheese. I've just seen them finger spell mac.
Gotcha.
Mac.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I would be actually surprised if there wasn't a sign. So I will check in that.
Wait, what did you do? You did
Mac, like MAC, and then cheese, just cheese. So mac, cheese.
And your hand is flat. Your non.
So my non-dominant hand's actually like sideways,
Okay.
and my dominant hand is like pushing on it. Yeah, like
Okay.
that. And I always
Okay.
kind of relax my fingers a little more because when it's straighter, that makes me think of movie. Relaxed was like slightly bent. If you can see, it's like open and bent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like cheese.
Okay.
There you go, like that. Yeah. Let's see what other kinds of foods are there. Now I'm in a food mood. I want to think of all the food. Ooh.
Is there dessert?
Oh, dessert. So the sign for dessert, I just have to make sure because it's always funny. We never got this in the last class, but so for dessert, you're gonna have both 2Ds and you're gonna have them sideways and go dessert. They like tap dessert.
Oh.
Dessert. Oh wait, I'm doing it wrong. Dessert.
There you go. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
if you do it like this, that's dating.
Oh.
So you
I
want
want
to
a date or I want dessert.
I want
Uh-huh. Or both.
about that. I thought that was such a funny thing. Was this dessert date?
Dessert,
Yeah.
date. Okay.
Date.
And
What's dessert again?
So dessert is it's the same thing but sideways. So it's just dessert. Yeah.
Okay.
Dessert. Yeah.
Okay.
And your pointer fingers don't ever touch. It's just your fingers like doing this but sideways.
Okay.
So that, yes.
I got these big hands.
And then
like, get
date.
in the way.
And then Starbucks.
And then Starbucks.
Yeah,
Yes.
Starbucks.
And
The best place for
chocolate.
coffee.
Chocolate, I remember
The
that.
important things.
See, this is what I'm here for, is not only to provide the language to you, but also give you the mainly important signs.
The
Like
important
chocolate and Starbucks. That reminded me of another one. Oh, like oh no, I lost it. What's another one?
What about donut?
So there was a huge debate on this one time. I was talking to people about it because some people just finger spell it. I always finger spell it because I can never remember the sign for it. I believe donut. I'm gonna have to look it up and check again. I remember because one person I was talking to made a joke about like in Texas it's donut, like it's a big donut, and I laughed. I thought it was really funny, but I'm gonna have to check that. Man, I'm gonna have to put a whole list of what I need to check because it's
What
donut.
about potato chips?
Oh, so potatoes and then chips. So
Potatoes, yes.
So the sign for potatoes is your non-dominant hand is a fist. Your dominant hand has got two bent X's, potatoes.
Potatoes.
And for potato chips, it's always potato. And then I always add the chips if like we're in a conversation where potatoes make sense and potato chips make sense. So like for lunch, I'll be like, oh, pick up your potato, like pick up your chips. So, but because like they always have bags of chips. But you know, if I'm like talking about having it at a dinner place, well, I want potato chips. So add that little chips. So, but yes, potato. And this is also what you can use for sweet potato. For sweet potato, you'll add sweet.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Your thumb's out.
Yes, sweet.
Okay.
Sweet potato. Sweet potato. Where am I? And then, sorry, that was me sitting there going, I know there's another sign here somewhere. And I just wrote pumpkin. The sign for pumpkin is right around here too. And pumpkin is you're going to go pumpkin. Yeah,
That's cute.
pumpkin. And that can be for like pumpkin pie. Oh, I'm carving pumpkins at my house. Either way. So pumpkin.
Oh,
I knew there was
Jennifer's
one.
about to join us. There we go.
Perfect. We have one more friend.
Hey, Jennifer.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I dropped my phone. I'm gonna fix it. All right. So we have potato. We've had pumpkin. Any other types of foods you guys think of? I'm trying to remember others. Like I'm trying to think of the vegetables. So we have corn. So like corn. Corn is gonna be your finger and you're gonna go like corn. I've seen both.
Corn.
I always do this, but I've
Like
also
in
noticed
C's?
yeah, like corn, like you're chewing on the cob. Corn. I always learned it like this one. Like you have like the cob still and you're eating it, but then it's also very similar to like toothbrush. So I think they were like corn.
Yeah.
Let's see. What's some other vegetables?
Tomato.
Tomato. Okay, so tomato. What I've seen with tomato is it's got basically two signs in one. It has the sign for red, so red. And then you have, this is like your tomato and red slice. It's like you're slicing it. So like red slice. Yeah.
Oh, red.
Yeah, just brush down. So red slice tomato. That's what I've seen. I know some people will just finger spell it too though. But most of the time I see this. Tomato.
What about carrot?
So carrot is carrot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. I've also seen pickle. Sign for pickles. I've seen two ways. One is you have pickle. It's your middle fingers touching the corner of your lip. Pickle.
Okay.
And you shake it. And then some people just do pickle. The reason I always do pickle is because this is also like the sign for candy.
Okay.
And I don't like pickles, but I love candy. And so I'm very big on there's a difference. I don't want any miscommunication where I received pickles instead of candy. That would be heartbreaking to me. So pickle, candy.
Okay.
Let's see. What else is there that I was trying to think of? There's others.
Are there, okay, you did burger. Is hot dog a sign, or is that something that you would just finger spell?
So how the way I do hot dog is I will have my non-dominant hand like this. I think it's like a little bun. And then my dominant hand's finger. Hot dog. Hot dog.
No, that's pretty funny.
It makes you feel better, Miss Katie. When I was talking to the very nice older woman, deaf woman, she says there's a few signs that she doesn't like to use now because they're just, you can look at them and go, that could be taken wrong. And so I always laugh because like that's all I think about whenever I think of these signs is, oh, how bad this can be, like how bad this can be taken. So I always think about, we gotta be careful. But hot dog.
Probably the same problem you might have. Like I just blush easily. And so even if I'm doing the right sign, I'm going to turn bright red just because I'm like, oh.
The motion, it makes you feel like the motion.
Yeah.
Oh yes, no, trust me. I feel that way. And like, if I start to think about it, it gets to me and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even right now. I have to stop. Like, I can't even keep a straight face. I look so immature. But you reminded me, so we have hot dog, but we also have like taco. Taco is the same way, but with all of it, taco.
That's better. Taco. Yeah.
Taco. And then let's see, what other stuff?
Is there a way to, like, if you were going to be like, we're going to get Mexican food, is there a sign for like Mexican food, or do you just finger spell that?
So I always will go, this is a sign for Mexican.
Okay.
Mexican, like food. Because like if you're asking, and like this is like to describe like your race, ethnicity,
Yeah.
that. So sorry, if I try to go through the word, I will take 20 years trying to pronounce it. So Mexican, it's like Mexican food.
Gotcha.
The sign for Italian. Now, I will say a lot of the signs, especially when it gets into like describing like race or ethnicity, I said it right this time. They are subject to change, obviously. And a lot of times I always try to be a little careful with them and cautious on like, if I see someone sign it first, then I'm like, okay, then we're good. We can use that.
Okay.
But a lot of times I try to be careful just because they can change and update, and that can immediately become an insult. Because I know like the sign that I was taught in high school for Italian is you have your pinky and you go Italian.
Oh.
Italian. Yeah, Miss Katie.
Yeah.
Italian. But I can see how, like, some people that changes into that could be used as an insult. So I always get a little careful about. I would finger spell just for a safety measure until they either show you how they sign it, so I know it's not insulting. But that's just me. I'm a little always worried I'm gonna insult someone and offend someone, and that's just not something I want to come off as. I'm always like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So,
Yeah, right. Particularly in this day and age.
Exactly. There was some word that you guys reminded me of that I was going to say. We were talking about Mexican food. Before that, I had a sign. So we just talked about taco. Oh, French fries. Oh. I love how that's made the connection. But I remember we talked about hot dog, and French fries go with hot dogs. They don't go with tacos, but they go with hot dogs. So French fries is going to be an F, and you're going to go French fries. French fries. And so I'm gonna repeat the sign for coffee real quick. So coffee is coffee. It's like you're grinding the coffee. Yeah.
This might sound silly. Does it matter which direction you grind your coffee? No, nobody's gonna be like, you're going wrong. Okay.
Yeah. That's one of the few signs where no one's gonna judge you if you're going the opposite direction. Now, if you were doing like clock and you were going the opposite direction, they'll look at you silly. And trust me, that's not a silly question, because like I've said, there's signs. It's like the motion you do is slightly off. It's completely wrong. So I get it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, please don't ever feel bad asking me to be clear, because there's really no stupid question. There's no silly question. None of that. Not with me. Never. So, but yes, coffee. I always think this is like one of the most important ones we should all know. I need my coffee.
Yes.
So I was thinking what we could do, because we've been on food for a while. what we can do now is I can move on to some verbs. And then what I will try to do, hopefully, is get some signing videos of me using these words, like the food. And after Miss Katie's like uploaded the videos and you guys can look at the words and practice again, you guys can test yourselves. Since we weren't able to do as much of repeating it again and again, okay, let's do this again. It was just more like, here's some signs. Let's go to the next one. So I will do that so we can actually get some practice, give you guys some more practice. So for verbs, I don't have many because a lot of them you would use kind of like similar, I can't pronounce the word. Similarly, sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just not good at that sometimes.
We know what you mean.
Thank you. There we go. The first one I have is want. So want is you're going to have your open-ish palms and you're going to go want. Yes. And it's always funny. You have little kids who are like, I want. They just get like angry, like I want it now. And you're just like, okay, want. Yeah, you want it? Okay, but want. And then like. So like is going to be like. And you want to make sure it's your middle finger and your thumb touching. So like. If you do it all together, that's the sign for white. So this is white, like. Then we have help. So help is help. Yes, there you go. Good. And the cool thing about help is this is actually one of those signs that's called a directional sign, which means that when you are using it, you actually show who's helping who. So if I want you to help me, I'd be like, help me. And I bring it towards me. So you know I'm talking about you and I need you to help me. If it's me, I want to help you, you would go help you. Help you. If it's like help each other, help each other. Help each other. Help all. You all help me. That. So it's a directional sign.
Hey, Gillian, with like, would you be like, I don't like? Is that?
Yes.
Don't like it. Like, don't like it.
Don't like. You would go, don't like. You like and throw it away. And there's always like a little bit like a disgusted face, like, I don't like.
Yeah.
No. Because you want to be like, oh, I don't like. No, you're going to be like, I don't like. Like pickles, I don't like. I always make like a really disgusted face. And then the kids laugh because they think it's funny. I'm like, yeah, you think it's funny, but I really don't like that. And it's the same for want. So you'll be like, don't want. Don't want. Now, some people will go not. The sign for not want, not like. Okay. I usually see don't like. Either way is accepted. That's just this one also, like the sign for not's actually kind of been a big one, because if you're saying like you go to the store, you would say it's like you haven't yet. You would either go not go to store, or like go to store like haven't. Like this is the sign for haven't. Like not yet, haven't. And I know it looks a little awkward because I have my arm so like really lifted up, but it's just like haven't.
Okay.
Haven't. Yeah. So, but this is like the sign for any kind of not. Like I don't like you could even be like I don't know, not know. But a lot of people don't know. There's always that, like, I think there's just another, it's almost like how we have conjunctions. We have do not know, don't know. You can use either way. They're both right. Either way works. So I have, the next one is C. So C is going to be, you're going to have like a V, C. You see that, like C. And if I remember correctly, this one I showed you guys the sign, not you guys, sorry, last class was see you later. So see you later is going to be see you later. So see and later. And it's because the U's already almost like in there, like see you later. You don't have to see you later. See you later. You just add that, see you later.
See you later.
So see you later. It's wonky until you get it used to it. That's why it's hard for me to slow down, because then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, how am I doing this? But like, see you later. So later. Yeah. Later. It's going to be your thumbs in the middle of your palm of your L, and it just goes later. That's anything for like, oh, I have work later. I have home, like anything you're saying later, it's later. Then I have the sign for need. Need is going to be an X, and you're going to tap it. Need. And then the sign for, so then I have two more. One is go. So go is another, like, not really directional, but when you're setting it up in a system, like well, let me give you the sign first, then I'll explain it. So go. A lot of times when you are signing like a story and you're describing it, you do, and this is, I think, what we're going to do next class, which I think everyone really enjoyed last time, was like descriptions of how you would describe things. And so, like, if you're describing, like, I'm going, like you've talked about, here's the store, here's like the, I don't even know, house, here's the store, here's the house. I'm going to the store and then I'm going to the house. You have to keep kind of like, it's like you've set up your scene like in a play, and you have to kind of follow through with it. That's all I wanted to say, was go can be kind of a little weird sometimes if you're not careful, and can get confusing, but go.
So you just want to point in the correct direction-ish. Yeah. Like you would say, you wouldn't be from Birmingham and saying we're going up to the beach if you were going to Gulf Shores or something, right? You know, like
right. You're so right, but I'm so bad about that. I actually am really bad about that.
My kids do that. It drives me nuts. I'm like, you're not going up to the beach. Look at a map.
I'll say, like, I remember, if I remember correctly, I don't even know. I feel like I'm going to say one wrong now. But like when I'd be saying, I'd be like in Montevallo, and I'd be telling my family, I'm like, I'm coming down to visit. And they're like, you're not coming down to visit, you're coming up to visit. And I'm like, but
you can tell who really lives by directions and who doesn't. I told my kids they have to learn geography this summer. They're driving me crazy.
Oh my gosh, I would need that class as well, to be honest. It's real bad, my direction.
Okay, well, come on.
Like, I'll be joining, all of a sudden I'm becoming a Mullering. Yes, here I am. But yes, I also am very bad about that. So going can be confusing if you do not understand your directions like I do. But the next one is ask. So ask is another directional one. So like if you're going to ask someone, you could be ask or ask. So ask or ask.
Ask
like
or
ask.
ask.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I want you to ask her. Like ask her. Ask me. Come ask me, or ask me.
How
It's
would
really
I say ask like downstairs? Just like
so you would, so what you would describe it is you probably would actually want to be like the other librarian downstairs.
okay.
Go ask her. Ask her.
Gotcha.
So yeah, that's how you do. You want to set up your subject so that way you know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So yes. So those are all the verbs I have. If there's any verbs you actually guys are curious of, a lot of them you can always kind of tie back to, like, oh, you would actually use this sign. I always think these are like the main verbs. I know there's a lot more, but let's see. I guess for some, I guess I can give you guys like the reading, swimming, action verbs. Those a lot of the times you can kind of pick up on, like for like swimming, you know, like I'm gonna go swimming. Reading a book is you're gonna have your non-dominant hand sideways, and your other hand's gonna be a V, and it's reading. And it's like your eyes are looking at a page, reading.
But wasn't this law? Is that
So,
right?
Law is gonna be the L.
Oh, the L
on the side, yeah. Reading, law. Reading,
law. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So law and then reading, yes.
How do you say like the store is going to close? We're going to close, like something's going to close.
So I always go closing.
Okay. Closing.
It's like almost like you open box, close a box. Like I'll be like the store closing soon.
Gotcha.
So this is the sign for soon.
Soon. Okay.
Yeah, and you always make like a little bit like a face, like,
because to end the day, we make announcements.
Yeah.
And if you cannot hear, you do not know. So, yeah. Okay. So we would say wait, do it again.
So I'm going to give you the full sentence. Library close soon.
Closing soon. Okay.
And they might ask you like the time and you'd be like 7.
Gotcha.
And then
Okay.
you could be like, now is 6:54.
Gotcha.
Using at 7. That.
Gotcha.
Okay. All right. Any other questions you guys have? Now I'm gonna sign. I'm sorry. That's what I do.
It's a good thing we all know how to close the library, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Any other signs you guys want to see? I know we said connections between verbs and food. And I know, Jennifer, you joined us later, but we do have a long list of words that you will be able to see once Miss Katie uploads the video. So
We did all food. We spent like 45 minutes talking about food.
food
Which is not a
became a
bad thing.
popular thing to discuss. I will not lie. Like it
Hey,
became
how would you say like visit, or like if you wanted to go hang out with somebody or something like that?
so for visiting, like I'm gonna go visit. So this is the sign for visit. It's like visit.
Visit. Okay.
Visit. Yeah. I'll be like, I'm gonna go visit my aunt.
Okay.
Mhm. And then I can give you guys the sign for travel. So when you're going on vacation, traveling, it's gonna be another V bent into 2 X's, and you're gonna go travel. And it's like you almost like that. You're making your little roadmap of like travel. And then since we're here, vacation. The sign for vacation is going to be your open palms like this. Vacation. Yeah. Go on vacation. Oh, excuse me. And the fun thing, I always think this one's so fun to me, is that the sign for, this is like not connected, kind of, but not fully, is the sign for retired. Like I am retiring this year is going to be ours retired.
Oh,
Or it's retired. And I laugh because that's basically you're saying I'm going on a long vacation.
like
I'm
a permanent vacation.
Yes. And I just think that is like the funniest thing I've seen that's a connection to being retired when you're retiring, is that I'm going on vacation. So,
Is the word for break like take a break or extended break, or?
that is actually the sign that I always have constantly had curious questions on, because there's so many different ways to use the word break. There's spring break. I am taking a break from this. Usually you say I broke the book or whatever. So the sign for break that I always use is break, like spring break.
Break.
Yeah.
Wait, am I using my dominant? Like what? Am I using?
Sorry, that was like I did not give you any description. So not dominant hand is this one.
Okay, it's a good thing I can do that with my fingers.
Becoming the wood
Goodness.
chopping.
Break. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's because, and the way this I've been told, and it's always, they make the comparison like school related, which helps for me as a teacher saying, having to describe spring break. But like, here's the months before, here are the months afterwards. We're taking a break between them. So break.
Mhm.
So, but if like I broke something, broke is going to be like, you're going to have both your hands like this and you're going to break. It's like you actually, how you would break a pencil. I always think about you break a pencil. That, yeah, I broke that. So break, like actual breaking of something, break, and then spring break, like it'll break in time. Like
Or if you were like, do you need to take a break from this? You would.
that, or sometimes I'll be like, do you want to stop for now?
Okay, gotcha.
And then I'll come back. I always will kind of go like stop now, and then I do like calm.
What is stop?
So stop is stop.
Oh,
non-dominant hand,
okay.
palm up, dominant hand, stop.
Okay.
And you can get real mean with it. Stop. Like I've seen, I mean, the amount of times I've had to go aggressive,
sit.
slam once.
Yeah.
Like,
My 7-year-old thinks sit is the funniest. Like he'll be like,
Henry, I love seeing
think that's
Henry
so
at
funny.
camp because he'll just pretend like he doesn't know I exist. I'll be like, hey, Henry. He's like, hi. I'm like, you see me on your mom's videos and you laugh and go sit all the time to me. So why are you acting like you don't know me? So,
he's being cool.
yeah. Oh yeah, especially in front of his friends. But stop. So yeah, stop. Okay. Are there any other signs you guys are curious of? I'm more than happy just to use my vocabulary. I know we have more classes, but I have one. Sorry, Miss Jennifer. I just saw that you snacked a little and I'm gonna be using that. So when you're describing like your soup, you would go soup.
Soup.
And it's like give your spoon. So soup. A lot of times, like if you're having like cereal, it'll be like cereal. So you have your soup and you have your cereal. You can use kind of both. I've seen this more specifically for soup and this one for cereal. And then I think this is like they actually use the sign for spoon is like a spoon. A fork is fork. And then a knife is going to be your thumb knife. Like, well, this is also the sign for surgery, but like knife. Yeah. So knife. But let's see. And then I'll go over ice cream because I see Miss Jennifer, you got some kids and I bet they love ice cream. So ice cream.
Yep.
Ice cream. So this is ice cream. It's the yummiest one. It's one of my favorites.
More redheads.
I know. You guys are outshining us. It's awesome. So we have ice cream and then we have chocolate.
Candy.
And then candy. And I'll give you one of my favorite sentences is I want candy. I want candy. During Halloween, I will start to sing that song during class. I'll just be like, I want candy. And then so I want candy. It's like one of my favorite things to use. So my kids always roll their eyes. They're like, come on, that's not funny. And I'm like, it's very funny to me. So see what other ones we have. Oh, cookie. I love how I'm giving all so cookie, cake, cookie. There's also cookie. It's kind of either way, whichever one works for you guys. Cake.
How do you say I love cupcakes or I love cookies?
So how I use it is I do what's called the like, you can either go love or I'll go kiss fist, like love cookies, like I mean, cookies on so but cake either like because so Miss Jennifer, I know so I always get this not confused, but it's always can be a little bit unclear. Is like this can be cake, cookie, cupcake. That's what I've seen. I always use this as cookie, like a cookie piece. But I also see kids do cookie. So either way works. I always said if you're really trying to be clear on that you need cookies or cake, being like cake, just finger spelling. That's always kind of my rule of thumb is cake. Cookies, cake. And I believe I've seen these for cupcakes too. It's very, because they're all sweet. I think they just kind of all blend together. So, but
and that's what you should eat, not necessarily what you do eat, but
right. I'm like, it's
about this size.
Yes, exactly.
Or more.
But yes, all right. So,
okay. Well, I'm closing tonight, so
yes.
When we're done here, I'll have time to go ahead and upload it, and I'll go ahead and get the timestamps in and everything. I felt bad because last week I was so late getting everything up, but I should be able to get it all up tonight.
Yes, and then I will, when we finish this one, I will make some quiz videos to help everybody practice too. And so I'll try to make 2 different ones. I'm going to eat dinner first and then I'll come back and make them. So hopefully I can get them in. I might do one that's just on all the signs we use tonight, and then another one that's just on all the signs together, kind of like adding it. So it's a little more challenging because it's not, okay, it's just what I learned tonight. No, it's like what I've learned all together. So, but we will try that and hopefully it will do well. But yeah, all righty. So I guess we will stop for tonight, and Miss Katie will upload the video, and I will make 2 quiz videos.
Yay!
That sounds good?
Wait, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.
Okay. Bye.